Welcome. Welcome? I don't know what's happening. There's only... yeah. From my system, there's no issues. My internet is good and strong. My streaming software is working perfectly fine. I've got an angry looking face on that pause. Yep, I've got an angry looking face. Oh my gosh. But here we are. I hope that everybody is back in. And we have Martin of the Nuclear Village, who is the very, very first person I have seen ever who is a member of the new Crimson membership platform on YouTube. So welcome. Welcome. That's something that I completely forgot had actually gone live yesterday, and we've had a number of people saying, hey, Patreon is fine, but they don't like going cross platforms, they don't want to log out, etc. So all of the stuff that we've been putting up on Patreon is also going on a membership platform on YouTube, and I'm hoping that a lot of you will see it and utilize it and be inspired to build more guitars. Alright, there we go. That was a letdown. I don't know what happened. Welcome, Jaybird Customs. I have no idea what happened. The stream just died. There has been a software update onto my Wirestream software here. Maybe that did it. But from what I can tell, we're fine. So, let's go. So, wow, SC Guitars has also signed up. There's two of them now. That's hilarious. So SC Guitar says, oh, I didn't know the membership was live. Let me join now. And then 3 seconds later he comes up and he's got a bright green membership tag on his thing. Keith says, Elvish guitar update. Let's just pretend that the other stream didn't happen and we can go on late for this one. Or not. Everybody click like again. Come on. Rob Phoenix is saying shit happens. Vincent saying like again. SE Guitar says, I went to get a coffee and looked back and you died. I am patently not dead, sir. Okay. Come on then. Rich OOP or Rich Oop, I never know which one to say, says, would you rather, this is the man who does the proper would you rathers, says, would you rather A, listen to Robert and Toya's Sunday lunch covers on repeat, or B, tell Jimmy Page you got drunk and dropped his 59 down the stairs? I kind of like There's a bunch of you joining the memberships. You are seriously making my day right now. Can I plead the fifth? Can I choose the stairs? If I can choose the stairs or pre-prepare the stairs, I would go with B. But only because that would mean A, meeting Jimmy Page, which would be just incredible, and B, I would get an excuse to work on his 59, and I mean all of that. Yeah, I would go B. Hold on. Elvish guitar update. I really want to. I've got so many things. Check this out. So I have a side project I've been working on for many, many years, like nearly 2. I've been buying antique books with beautiful things in them. That's a knocker from the 16th century, for example. And I look at these things and am just inspired. This is really difficult to do, by the way. Just the sheer beauty. Hold on. So yeah, Elvish guitar, fantastic. But can you imagine a guitar based on these swords? Or halberds, actually, I think these are. Partisans and halberds. This is from Dresden. Again, 16th century. And just utterly gorgeous. I'm also going to be reprinting things like this. But that's besides the point. So yes, I think what I'm trying to say is my problem is I have multitudinous different inspirations. Chunky sent $2 Aussie and says, what's the quickest / easiest way to remove a nut? I would grab a flathead screwdriver that isn't too sharp, gently put it up against the nut, and then with a hammer just gently tap the end of that. The friction of that should break the glue seal, and then the nut will be able to pop up. Do not wedge, do not lever. Okay, now hold on. I need to welcome all of these new members. Hold on. So we've got Martin of the Nuclear Village. We've got SC Guitars. We've got Ivan Wizard, he says welcome to all that jazz. Oh no, we all saying welcome to all that jazz. Magic Music. Adam is in. Thor Mystad is also in the club, and a new member. So is Rob Phoenix, and Alan Parsons. You guys are incredible. Thank you very, very much for your support, and I hope you enjoy what we are going to be putting out and are putting out on that channel. Incidentally, we have. I've just been told 2 editors that we are in the final talks with to help increase the quantity and quality of what we're putting out on YouTube, both in the memberships and on Patreon and the main channel as well. Rob Phoenix, this is a good question. He's in a £5 super chat and said, have you ever had to say enough is enough with the customer's expectation? How do you deal with it? Really, it's a really difficult... That is really, really difficult. Yes, I have fired customers in the past. Whether I... We had one customer at the tool shop who the staff at the tool shop called Spitty Man. And on top of walking in and spitting on everybody, this is pre-COVID, he also turned into a bit of an arsehole. And my manager, Safi, sent me a message and said, look, this is what this guy's doing and saying, etc. What do I do? And I said, literally just tell him to F off. Nobody can talk to my staff in the way that he was talking. I don't care whether he had bought quite a lot of tools from us, but I said, tell him to, in however you want to do it politely or do it, tell him to fuck off, but tell him to, we don't want his custom anymore. It is a lot more difficult when you are talking to a customer who has commissioned a guitar, and again, I find it is easier to get rid of them at the earlier stages than it is once you've actually started building something. But the best way to do it really is to say, look, this was the agreement. Cover your ass. Have agreements. Have bill lists, etc. Written down and agreed and signed off with the customer. This is what you're doing. This is how much you're charging. If there are any material changes at one point, I'm not sure if it's the case now, but when somebody orders a custom guitar from us, they agree that if there are material changes to the design, we will not only charge whatever those material changes are, but we will charge a 10% of the whole build surcharge in order to make those changes. Now, I think I specified when I wrote that, and you can tell that I'd had a bad experience, that there were material changes after we'd actually started the build, i.e. Instead of the maple neck that you're halfway through making, I'd actually like it to be mahogany or whatever, we will charge you the cost that it's cost us, plus a surcharge, because you're messing with my chi here, yo. Oh god, man. So prepare yourself before you end up in that situation, and then you just say to the customer in writing, here is our contract, here is the agreement, here's what I agreed to do, and it's going to take 6 months or it's going to take a year, and I'm going to build your guitar, the guitar that you ordered. But you phoning me and spending an hour on the phone every single day, you've reached your allotted phone calls at this point. And if you want to do that every day, that's fine, but it's going to be 50 quid an hour. I'm happy to talk to you, but I am going to be billing you for that time. Period. And it just is, and you say it. Yeah, it sucks. It really, really sucks. I don't think I've ever had to fire a guitar building customer before. I've come close. Believe me, I've come close. But you just can't put up with it too much. You can't. So yeah. Anyway, Zach Ellison has come in with a $5 super chat and said chocolate chip cookies hot, straight out of the oven. Ben, hi. I came across a small shop-style CNC named Genmitsu Prover XL4030 Sane Smart. Looks great. Control C. Control V. I copied the entire thing. Bedroom Programmer is a new member, as is Peter Young. Hold on. I'm supposed to be going all the way through. Zach Ellison's apparently sent me a message. I haven't seen it yet, but I will search. So this is one of the problems with having Crimson at the size it is now. They protect me very, very well. If I looked at every message that we get, I would never do any building. This is this is salient to the last question. Yeah, but I will have a look, and there we go. So precisely 13 minutes and 9 seconds so far. Okay, Christian Talbot is also a new member. Welcome to the gang. As is Creeverai. It's very difficult to read a blue name on that green background. Bedroom Programmer, Peter Young, Stephen Clark, Real KH. Okay, I think I've got everybody so far. Yeah, the memberships, there's going to be a lot of stuff. There is going to be a lot of stuff. Rapid Solution says, firing a pain in the arse customer is a great feeling. It really is. The problem is always how it comes across to other potential customers, and even pain in the arse customers, well, they never think that they're a pain in the arse. It reminds me of that old adage. If you meet an arsehole in the morning, you met an arsehole. If you meet an arsehole in the morning and at lunchtime and at your tea break and in the evening, then probably you're the arsehole. But the arseholes tend not to realise it, do they? So, yeah, there we go. Okay, Sid B says, hey Ben, I've been browsing the website and I see there's a 2-week guitar building course available. Would you recommend me, a complete novice, to take this one? The difference between the 1-week and the 2-week course is essentially makes no difference whether you're a complete novice or not. We have had people who have never touched a tool before come on 2-week courses and build an incredible instrument. Or I should say build incredible instruments, because it's never just one in the end. So yeah, a 5-day course or a 6-day course, you can build a relatively basic guitar. The main difference is On a 5-day or a 6-day course, you'll build a relatively basic guitar, but you will be rushing the whole time. And as much as possible, we will make it incredibly easy for you. I.e., we will have templates, we'll have wood thickness, we'll do everything we can to make you meet your deadline. With a 2-week course, you are learning more because you're doing more yourself. If you want to have a custom template, then you make the template yourself so that when you get home, you know how to make a template. You can do that on the 2-week course. If you want to experiment with custom inlay, that's the course for you. If you want to do a carved top or a special, pretty much anything you can really think of, go 2 weeks. If you just want to build a T-type guitar and say, hey, I built this guitar, the 5-day course is the one. So you being a novice makes no difference whatsoever. No difference whatsoever at all. Okay. Peter, pain in the arse, Ben Timon is saying. Matthias Lindgren says, posting again, if not allowed, please tell me. Mods, no, you can post again. A question regarding wood for an electric guitar neck. Would silver birch, and more specifically curly birch, be able to be the wood for a neck? I love the channel. I have not made anything out of silver birch, or definitely not curly birch for that matter, other than in veneer form. But what I saw the veneer form leads me to believe that it will be absolutely fine. If you're at all worried about it, then use carbon fiber stiffening rods and a dual action truss rod, and you should be fine. And if possible, a quarter sawn, good quality fretboard. But you really, really should be fine. Fishing Idaho on a Harley says, hello all. Sathar Ekblad says, thanks for being you, Ben. Thank you for enabling me. That's what you guys do. You guys enable me. Thank you very much. It seems like we've started a whole different stream and there's a bunch of different people that weren't in the first one commenting. So, hey. Triple X Xeno Triple X says, hey Ben, thanks for answering my question on the last Q&A regarding the finish on my Voodoo Explorer. My question, or should I say my wife's question, is, can you help me stop buying Japanese Charvels? I mean, if you buy multiple guitars, then I'm pretty sure I could stop you by buying the Japanese ones by giving you a discount on Crimson. But other than that, no, probably not. I suspect you've got a problem that is just never going to be particularly scratched. And yeah. I am not the right person to go to for relationship advice. Not in the slightest. Ed Billy B and Blues has come in and says, prime rib dinner. What would be the least destructive way to change Humbucker to P90s on a carved top Les Paul style? Super thanks to you. I would go for hold on. Change Humbuckers to P90s. There is that Seymour Duncan pickup, the name of which I can never remember, which is Humbucker size, but it has also got single coil and P90 sounds built into it. Somebody in the live stream is going to say what it's called, but that is an option. But quite frankly, I'm fairly sure that a competent pickup maker would be able to make something in a humbucker size that gets pretty damn close to a real P90 sound. So that would work. Vulcan Essen has come in with €10. Thank you very much, Vulcan. And has said, hey Ben, great GGBO kickoff. Thank you very much. If one wants to have the typical Strat and Les Paul sounds in one guitar, would you consider this doable without compromise? Cheers, and thanks for the inspiration you share. Thank you for enabling me. Not without compromise. And not unless you've got a double neck, I think really is the thing. The prime characteristic the prime characteristics of those guitars is the pickups, but it is also the hardware. The tremolo system itself on the Strat affects the tone of the guitar. The springs in that back affect how the guitar sounds. I'm not 100% convinced about a major difference between a bolt-on neck and a glued-in neck, for example. I don't think that is something that most people would be able to hear, but there is a difference to it, I'm sure of it. The scale length itself makes a huge difference. And we're only talking 20 mil or so. Yeah, 20 millimeters, sorry. Mil is also an inferior measurement. But bare knuckle and Monty's make Humbucker size P90s, among others. There we go. I thought I was remembering that correctly. Monty's, again, I am absolutely not being sponsored in any way, shape or form by Monty's, but bloody nice pickups. Bloody nice pickups there. So, yeah. Gold, does even every person define the Strat and the Les Paul sounds the same? Probably not. No, I don't think so. That is a very, very good point. Rustin Hoyer, another name I don't recognise, says, what guitar have you not been able to build but you really want to? A real high quality version of the Gibson L5. I've wanted to build myself an archtop for decades now, actually, and I just have never had the time to do that. I also really fancy doing an EUB, or sort of a small-bodied, and I don't even know why, an electric upright bass, but more acoustic. And I don't know. It's just something that I've always really considered. I love this. All of the green names. So everybody's got a green name is one of our YouTube members. This is incredible. Martin, Paolo Villas Boas says, what to do when you're about to give up on an almost final guitar project. Somebody commented on my video yesterday with the Great Guitar Build. If there was one point where I looked dejected and broken, and I get the same comment from similar people, and the comment was, oh Ben, you look really depressed, or not in this, are you okay? I get the same comment in the final videos of a series as well. The first one is the design process and not being 100% locked into what I'm building, and that stresses me out. Once I know what I'm doing, with this stuff, I know what I'm doing. I'm talking to you guys, and it's freaking awesome. It's cool. We've got a new member signed up. Volcanessen is now a member. Thank you very much. But also, at the end of the project, I know what I'm doing. I've done it. I'm built. But I need to wire the guitar up. And the finish is being finicky. And come on, this needs to just be over. Honestly, that's my down period. So I am really, really, really sympathetic to you. I absolutely understand how it feels to be towards the end of a project and just losing your impetus, I suppose. Now, one of the ways that I fought that was starting 2 builds at a time. And when one build is just kicking your ass, to quote Adam Savage, you move on to something else. Whether it is a totally different guitar build, or just tidying the workshop, or, I don't know, making a small box to put an engagement ring in, or I don't know why that came up. I've been seeing lots of cool engagement ring boxes come up on Reddit recently. So what I would say to you is distract yourself with something else for a minute. 100% please don't give up on the build. If there is anything that we can do, if there's any questions that I can answer to help get you over this sort of hiccup, then yeah, please let me know. Okay. I have. Rob Jansen says, do you collect your ideas in a booklet? To a certain extent, yes. My problem is I've got about 400 million booklets that go around all over the place, so there's bits of paper just everywhere. But that's more... So, for example, with the current GGBO build, I drew around the paddle headstock. And I'm going to be taking that notebook upstairs and trying to draw designs and get something that I like, which is another one of those parts of the job that I really don't like. Headstock design. Yeah, it's a problem. Now, hold on. Iluviet says, hey Ben, greetings from India. Forgive me if I missed this, but what's your take on Tonewood? Tonewood is mostly a myth. It is say 10% of the recipe in an electric guitar. Most people won't hear the difference between most woods unless you're taking the hardest timber, i.e. purple heart or leadwood or something, and the softest, i.e. Soft and light poplar basswood, something like that. You could probably hear a difference between those two extremes, but most wood is somewhere in the middle, and once it's plugged in through an amp, you won't hear the difference. The hardware, the pickups, the quality of all of these things, and the quality and of the amplifier and the cable and all that jazz has a bigger effect. The potentiometers, the electronics, how you wire it up, what capacitors you use, all of that is more important than the wood. But guitar manufacturers like pretending that they have the secret sauce, and that secret sauce is in how they do wood. Now, what I just said there, how they do wood, how you dry wood, and how dry your wood is, that does make a difference as well. So I'm easing my way from... I was 100%, Tonewood is amazing. I then went right back to, you know what, you just can't. And I'm slowly going back up. I used to say it's 5% of the thing. It's now 10 or 15%. There is a bit there, and it's more complicated and complex than most people really would know. Matt Lang, welcome to your YouTube membership, and Pete C, welcome as well. Thank you very, very much for your support. You guys are incredible. Yeah. Paul's scrapbook says, ever thought about building a resonator, or do you know about building resonators? I have thought about it. For me, the main part of the resonator is obviously the resonating section, and that's a bridge and a cone and all of that jazz. And the entire character of the guitar is that. And it's also that you buy from the manufacturer. Because, I mean, we're not... Okay, so all of the hard work is done by the manufacturer, and then you essentially make most of an acoustic guitar to house it in. It just doesn't make me happy. It doesn't excite me, and so it's not something that I'm likely to want to do. Eugenius the Great has also just signed up as a new member, so thank you very much for your support, Eugenius. Okie dokie. Feed me questions, people. Illuviate says, thanks, Ben, that actually helped. Cool. I love helping. Bruce Williamson says, hey, Ben, what do you think of Cherry? Did you just call me Cherry? I like cherry. I've made a number of cherry guitars. In fact, I made a cherry guitar that I then carved cherry blossoms into because I thought I was clever. It's fairly heavy. It can be very attractive. You can get some really nice quilting in cherry and some flaming and things like that as well. So, do you know what? it's a wood that's worth using. It is quite heavy and dense, but oh my gosh, it carves well. If you're doing something with carving, it's not a bad one to have a look at. Zach Ellison has come with $5 and said, tacos. Question to all the viewers. What the F at QS 184 viewers, only 53 likes. Don't be BNGs and slide your hands 2 inches and click likes. I am a turd. Dude. I'm pretty sure they all clicked like on the other one as well, so I don't know what's happening. I really don't. This is just crazy. Hold on, let me click on something that says subscribe. There we go, subscribe. So, I really don't know what happened to the other live stream. That is just strange. Okay. Sorry, clicking on things. Let's have a look. Now, what do you think of Varathane as a guitar finish? I've never tried it. I don't know. Fernando Solera says opinions on fretless guitars. You can make some incredible noises with fretless guitars. I worry about the material of the fretboard. You would need hardened of some sort. Carbon fiber was mentioned in the previous live stream. So, yeah. I mean, in the end, it's down to the musician. If a musician can take a fretless guitar and make music out of it, then hell, if a musician can take a saw and make music out of it, then I am all for it. In the end, it is all about the music and about enabling the musicians to do their thing. I, unfortunately, am not a musician. And this fills me with sadness. But I enable musicians. So, yeah. Go for it. I was talking to a guy on the weekend, actually, who makes noise machines. They're I'm going to get some on the channel at some point. They're just literally just a machine that makes noise. And freaking awesome. Okay. PJ Woodworks is coming with 549 SEKs. Kronas, I think. Thank you very much for your support. And he says, if you have to start from the beginning and build version 2, do you have to film everything again in the GGPO? Oh, crikey, I thought you were asking about me. If you have footage of version 1. No. Honestly, what I would, if that happened to me, part of the story, and something that's going to get the judges on your side, is that you have started again and you've realised what's happened or whatever's happened. I would not film the entire thing. I would take a bajillion photographs, or maybe set up a time lapse or something, and you say, all right, everybody, I'm doing the same thing again. You've already watched this in the previous videos, but here is 5 minutes of time lapse of me redoing everything frenetically with some, I don't know, country music in the background or something like that. It's important that you bring that up. You are not going to get disqualified. Absolutely not. But you do need to somehow show what's happened, even if it is just 20 photographs of the new one coming up, of the second version. You don't have to refilm and re-edit the entire build. One of my pet hates is redoing work. I hate it. Like, hate it. But I am really sorry that that's happened to you. It's... yeah. I mean, the fact that you're redoing it just says a lot about you, though. That's great. Okay. These things are insane. I end up... yeah. It's fine. Let me have a look and just double check and see if there's any messages that I have missed. Okay, real KH. Whoa! Haha! Okay, this is a question from the last live stream. Lex Luthier says, I am going to make an electric violin. And I want to make a flat top, which will be the strength of the instrument, out of possibly 2 or 3 millimeter carbon fiber sheet. Do you think that would be strong enough? I've got a prototype hollow body but electric guitar that was being made for us by a company that works with the Formula One industry, and the top I think is 1.3 millimeters thick, and it's bloody strong. So yes, I do think that would be thick enough. I'm not entirely sure that flat top is ideal, and with an electric violin, be aware that just make absolutely certain that you know where the bow is going to go. You've got a high bridge. Pretend my phone is a bridge, and you are running off 1 string, 2 string, but on the 2 outer strings your bow is going at a major angle down, and that's where the waist of the violin comes in. So that traditional violin shape, that is there for your bow to go into. It's not there just because, hey, it looks nice, even though it does. So there we go. Gold says the time-lapse will only work with country music, lol. SC Guitar says, ha ha, I broke my fretboard and that's exactly what I have to do. Yes. Although SC Guitars, you asked me for some advice on that. Illuviate says, Ben, can someone from India enter the GGBO? Of course you can. There is... Who would I not let enter the GGBO? There's no one that I wouldn't let enter the competition. Seriously, pretty much. We had right at the beginning of the competition, I had people say, "Are ex-cons allowed in?" Tix and Guitars Twitch 2.0 asked if people with Tourette's syndrome were allowed or not allowed. I don't care if you swear every now and then during the build. In fact, I think that adds to the whole show. Bring it on. So no, yes, anybody from India, anyone from anywhere can enter into the competition. The more people building guitars, the better, for crying out loud. Bring it on. Absolutely. Thomas Gillis has come in with a $5 super chat and said, is it possible to make a wooden tailpiece using ferrules? Okay. It's possible to make a wooden tailpiece without ferrules. It depends on the tailpiece. So, yes, there are design issues potentially. If you're talking about a jazz style tailpiece, then yes, you can use ferrules or not. It would be good to have brass to hold the ball ends in some way, shape or form. If you're talking about a Les Paul style tailpiece, that is more problematic because a Les Paul style tailpiece it's a smaller, there's a lot less material there basically, and it is more likely to break. So I would probably go multi-laminate, really, or at the very least hide some stiffening veneer underneath it just to give it a little bit of extra strength potentially. But I don't see any issues there. Could you potentially send us an email with a photograph? We'll have a look. stream@crimsonguitars.com. Kevin Butler has come in with a $5 super chat and said, hi Ben, your opinion on fretless bass nut slot depth, i.e. what value feeler gauge at the first fret position? Thanks, cheers. Okay. This is where my lack of measuring things just bites me in the ass. I don't measure things very often. It is all about feel. So essentially on a fretless instrument, you want the nut slots to be as low down as you can possibly get it without causing buzz. Now, if you hold it down at the 3rd fret, it's so difficult. It's so difficult without frets. Very, 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 very low. Hold on. Here's my feeler gauge that I can't believe I found. I went straight to it. I don't think I've touched this since I moved into this workshop. You are talking 0.02 of an inch or half a millimeter, and that would probably be maybe even a little high. But in the end, it is all down to how it feels, basically, and how low you can go without buzz. You also need some relief in the fretboard, and potentially think about putting in some fall away at the end of the fretboard, i.e. you flatten your fretboard off when the truss rod is nice and flat, and then from where the 16th fret would be to the end, you actually ramp it down by half a millimeter or so, and then as the string is vibrating, as the string vibrates, obviously, here I'm doing a dance now, when you fret the note, that vibration moves, and that is what that fall away, it stops buzz in that area. Okay, I am now definitely flagging, because actually we've been doing this for 2 hours. Franz Struter has come in with 70 ZARs. I don't know what currency that is, but thank you for your support. It says, evening everyone, and Ben, what is your take on Miranti wood? I'm busy playing around making a neck out of it. Am I wasting my time, or are you giving the green light? I love the streams, cheers. I'm giving you the green light. Miranti is a very lightweight... Okay, rewind. Miranti is a word that timber suppliers like to give to any one of, I think, about 70 different species of wood. Okay, so, and I haven't used all 70 of them. Every piece of wood that I have, however, used that has been called Miranti has been a mahogany alike, and almost all of them have been a relatively lightweight yet very strong mahogany alike, i.e. like the best quality mahoganies out there. So yes, go for it, use it, please do. It's used in the building industry quite a lot. It's used to make door frames and things like that. It's relatively inexpensive in comparison to many other woods that you can use, and I actually think that it's one of the best choices for guitar building wood that you could make, in all seriousness. Woohoo! Zach Ellison has come in with another $5 and said, root beer gummy bears. I'm going to have to end the stream now because I really fancy some gummy bears. It says, I have watched a GGBO 2021 entirely made CNC. Everything. Light sanding, staining. Am I wrong in not seeing that as a build? You are wrong. Now, my issue... Try again in 27 seconds. I don't want to try again in 27 seconds. Wait. Let me into my phone, you bastard. Ah, that's annoying. That's what happens when you multitask, I suppose. Zach. My first video on YouTube was me utterly slating anything to do with CNC making. And saying I'm never going to have a CNC machine, and it's just utterly terrible. We make things by hand. We do it the good old ways because that's the good old way, etc. And the older and more grisly I get, the more I think that really I don't care what tools you use to achieve what you want to achieve. Last year there was an entrant into the the great guitar build-off who had zero tools, basically. Unfortunately, I can't remember the guy's name because I'm me and I suck. But he made an entire instrument using basically the stuff from B&Q, which is a big box hardware store in the UK, out of his dorm room at college. And he made a headless guitar, and he made a custom 3D printed headless tuning system that blew me away because he had access to a 3D printer. And he made something that was a guitar, and in the end, it's about the guitar. Now, if this entrant into the competition does the drawings, originates the design, comes up with the ideas and the plans and the measurements and the frets, puts the frets in, and it's never just light sanding. We make guitars with CNC machines at the Crimson Factory as well. Our kits are made on the CNCs. Our production guitars are made on the CNC machines, and the CNC is at best a very expensive, medium skilled person holding a router and using a template, or it does not take a genius to push a router around a template or to use a pin router. I mean, actually, pin routers are quite scary, so maybe you have to be clever enough to not get your finger in the damn thing. Tie your hair back when you're using it, for example. The job of the CNC machine is for most of it is the easy parts of the guitar build. All right. Now, yeah, carving the neck, that takes some skill. But if you don't have that skill, but you can program in a neck carve onto a CNC machine, bully to you. Because I can't. There is no way. I have got... The software that we use at Crimson is like... I remember almost crying when we bought it. I mean, expensive. And I can't use that software to draw a neck. I mean, I've got people that do because, hey, but me, no, thank you. So I have nothing but respect for somebody that can do that. Now, so that being said, you've got the routing. The CNC can do a lot of the inlay work, for example, but it takes a person putting not only the drawing, but also the material and finding the right material, doing the design with artistic panache, etc. It takes somebody putting the frets in. The CNC is not putting the frets in. The CNC is not leveling the frets, crowning the frets. The CNC is not applying the finish. The CNC is not jointing the top or the back or the body. The CNC is not installing the pickups or doing the wiring or designing the headstock or designing the headstocks really sucks. What am I thinking about right now? I'm dreaming about designing bloody headstocks. So your question was, am I wrong in not seeing that as a build? So are you telling me that almost every single Fender, Gibson, PRS, etc. ever made is not a guitar build? I suppose. I could have just said that. Dan G has come in with $10 and said, when Gibson presses together the plies of the archtop of the ES335, they mix sawdust into the glue between the layers. Any idea why they would do this? 100%. It stops the veneers from sliding too much. Now, I've done the same thing with a couple of grains of salt, which works even better because the salt actually disintegrates, and once you've got your grip and it's in place and you've got all the pressure, the salt just disintegrates into the glue. Tight Bond, etc. say don't do that. They can't guarantee that the glue will still work, but it does. Just don't put too much salt on, which is what I did the first time I did it. But yeah, some sawdust in the glue will stop it. It just adds a little bit of friction, and that's good. I didn't know they did that. And I'm really glad that you asked this question, because I now know something that I didn't know, and I can go to sleep peacefully this evening. Now, I am going to say that we have about 10 minutes left. I've been going now for well over 2 hours in the various streams. So if you have questions, please make sure to ask them. I can log into my phone now, can't I? Yeah, please make sure to ask them. Okay, Martin Pfeiffer has sent €5 and said, "Hey Ben, do you reckon I could modify a fixed multi-scale bridge with an add-on to make it a headless tuner bridge? I'm thinking a brass plate underneath." Yes, I think you can, absolutely. I don't see why not. It very much does depend on the bridge. There are so many different ways to make something that... Twinkle Toes says, "You're dreaming of gummy bears." I am. Yeah. There are many different ways of making a headless tuning bridge anyway. So I am sure that there would be a way that you can do to fix that. I've got a design in my head that I just can't describe that would be incredible. I hope. I think. Maybe. We'll go. Okay, so Steven's actually sent me a thing. So these are the perks for the All That Jazz level. There's loyalty badges. So if you are a member on YouTube and you're in the chat and stuff, you get loyalty badges depending on whether you're new members or how long you're members and all that jazz. And you get discounted super chats, etc. After 24 months, the badge becomes crimson, apparently. I didn't set this up myself, so I know that. That's pretty cool. Thank you for letting me know, Stephen. Martin Pfeiffer, I've answered that. Kevin Butler, I've answered that. Fantastic. Okay, I really do try and get to as many of the questions as humanly possible. Nick Guitar says, "Crimson hand planes? Question mark. I am waiting for some prototypes. In fact, I'm really not prototypes of the planes. I am waiting for some plates that we have asked to be, I think, waterjet cut out for us, or maybe laser cut. And because we don't have a waterjet cutter in house, and while I do have a laser cutter, it's not meaty enough to cut through the thickness of steel that I want to use. So I'm going to ask about that and see where those are. Planes. I'm really excited about doing a plane build. Good wood for sky blue dye. Maple. So the substrate, the colour of the substrate absolutely affects the colour of the dye going over it. So if you're dyeing onto darker woods like mahogany, then it's always going to be coloured by that mahogany. So the best wood for any kind of stain is maple. Incidentally, we've got a much awaited couple of new ranges of stains coming through Crimson, including a full set of wow, I am tired. Pastel shades, there we go. Sky blue pastels, and they're going to be good. Proteus says, "Go waterjet, brother, it's worth the trouble." I really do want a waterjet machine. I really do. Rabnox at SC Guitar says, "Did Ben miss the SEK 549 chat?" No, I didn't. I did not at all. It's still up there, actually. Hold on. Yes, no, I definitely answered that. This is the... that was PJ Woodworks, who has to restart his build, which sucks. Boom Shiva 9, another good name, says, "Hey Ben, what do you think is the best way to get a flat or matte guitar finish? I'm considering boiled linseed oil or maybe one coat of true oil. Thoughts?" Thoughts is avoid true oil as much as humanly possible. Yes. Okay. Either of those two things is fine. True oil, I just don't like the way the company does their thing. If they sold them in metal pots and told you not to stick your fingers in it because it is actually toxic as all frickin' hell, then I would say use True Oil. In fact, I probably wouldn't have developed our guitar finishing oil. That being said, it gets a good finish. Boiled linseed oil is fine. Crimson Guitar's guitar finishing oil is excellent, of course. And I mean, there are any number of oils that you could use. Tongue oil is another one. If you can get true tongue oil, great finish. So yeah, many things. Felipe Zerene says, somewhere in the past you said something about building a bass. Yes. Fanfret. Yes. Headless. The question is, when? Yeah. Look, honestly, I have to do... Nebula is currently under finish. I am doing a watch-inspired build next because I've wanted to forever. And I would very much like to do a hand tool only build this year. In fact, it may even be... Well, we're only in May. So, yeah, I'd like to do that this year as well, actually. Bass. I've got to do a bass. I've got to do a bass. Law-abiding citizen says, why is Norway maple, or Norwegian maple, rarely used unless it is highly figured Bosnian maple? I have no idea. I didn't even know it existed. But frankly, maples are maples and maples, so you should go for it. Scott R. Hampton says, bacon! I know dragon ideas seem to be overdone, but what do you think of flame maple cut into dragon scale platinum for a top? I think that sounds awesome. Yeah. The PRS custom dragons that they did... I'm sorely tempted to build myself a replica of one of those by hand. I think that could be fun, don't you? I mean, we've got an SRP style, PRS style kit at Crimson that's available. That could do well. All right, give me your questions. We are running up to the end of my time here. Gold says, I'll watch that watch-inspired build. I admire the puns. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Yeah, well look, with it. Zach Ellison comes in with Pizza and Dark Bear. I'm amazed by all the builds, including CNC ones. The builds are amazing. I'm hooked on an Ecuador build. God bless all. Okay, so I'm doing my GGBO build. My final video is due by the end of this month, i.e. in 10 days. I need to have finished this entire build. I am then going to collapse in a dribbling pile on the floor of my lounge, or maybe if I make it to the sofa, on the sofa. And I'm going to watch as many Great Guitar Build-Off entries as I possibly can on 1.5 times speed. I am so looking forward to taking a week or two off and just embedding myself in the rest of the competition. I've watched maybe 100 of the 400 or so videos that are on the playlist at the moment, and it is incredible. So yeah, I can't believe how awesome it is. You guys are amazing. Okay, Dan G has sent $5 and said, is there a rule on hardness of material for inlays? Should they be harder than the fretboard wood? No, not necessarily. Not necessarily at all. If you watch my video where I did the Grace Kelly eyes, I used many materials. I used silver, I used mother of pearl, I used abalone, copper, I think, but the most of the inlay was just maple, ambrosia maple. So no, as long as it's not too soft, that's the thing you need to watch out for. Well, there we go. Sean Fahey comes in and says, chocolate brownies and stunning stains, water-based versus spirit stain. What do you prefer to use, and when is it best to use one or the other? Damn fine question. Okay, I prefer the water-based stains because you can, once you've applied the stain, you can use water to change the characteristic and lift it up a little bit. You can on the guitar itself actually mix two colours together. You can sort of dial it back a little bit. It's just a little bit more flexible. It is not quite as vibrant as the Spirit stains are, though. I also like the fact that I don't necessarily get high on my own supply if I'm using mortar-based stains, whereas the Spirit-based, after a while, you really do need to have some windows open. Yeah, there we go. David Spears says, I'm looking at Graph Gear 1000 as we speak. What size lead do you recommend for guitar building? 0.5, 0.7 or 0.9? I use 0.9 all the time. Now, it is thick, but it is also thick enough to not snap every second that you're drawing on wood. Whereas the 0.3 100% is. I, for the longest time, actually carried two. I had the 0.5 and the 0.9 in my pocket at the same time. But I've just ended up with this 0.9 as my main pencil. I'm not sponsored by them. I went through Lamy pencils, I went through this, I went through many different Pentel mechanical pencils, among others. This is the shit. It's an incredible pencil. I particularly love how when you do that, the whole lead, hold on, can you see? At the front, and it's gone. I think that's great. So yeah, that pencil lives in my pocket all the time. Okay. Tahoe Mike says, which will be closer, the end of the 6-hour build or the GGBO build? I think I'll finish the GGBO in time. Although... Here's a quick... For those of you that are still hanging around, tomorrow's video, I thought it would be a good idea, because I've got, 2 weeks to build the whole guitar. I thought it would potentially be a good idea to make a custom mother of pearl and abalone vine inlay. Because I'm a bloody idiot. That's why. So anyway, there it is. I am going to say good night. Scott R. Hampton says, average top start thickness 6mm for a flat top and 17 for a carved top or less. I need to go. You guys need to get on with your weekend. I really appreciate your support. You're all amazing. Have a fantastic weekend. Thank you for those of you that have joined up as members. Thank you for your support. And all of you in the Great Guitar Build-Off. I am going to be enjoying your videos very, very soon. Good luck. Let's go make some sawdust. I'll see you soon. Okay, so now I'm going to just chat for the next 30 seconds. It's always the bloody inlay. Who said that? It is always the inlay. Subpotent Milk says it's always the bloody inlay, smiley face. Yep. I just can't avoid an inlay, but it's good. With this guitar, I don't have a body, so yeah, that's all good. Anyway, look, Real KH, Magic Music Adden, Vulcan Essen, Bedroom Programmer, Matt Lang, SC Guitars, Real KH, Eugenius the Great, and many, many others. All of you have joined as members, and Richard Garnish, I really appreciate it. Ivan Wizard, you've made my day. And everybody, please raise a glass for Talitha, my sister, who is going to be editing tomorrow's video until probably sunrise. tomorrow morning because I'm an idiot and started this build far too late. Goodbye. Good night. I probably should actually time how long